It was time for the mail at the Stengel home. Casey Stengel, now nearly 80, loved this time of day. He would get up to 300 letters every week, and since his home address and phone number, of course, were listed in the phone book under Stengel, Charles Casey, it was not hard to know where to send a fan letter. 1663 Grandview Avenue in Glendale, California. He and his wife Edna had lived there since her father built the place 46 years before, in 1924. People wanted his autograph, and he loved that they did. Now, in 1970, in his retirement years, the home was a splendid place to be Casey Stengel. Old friends would visit, or new ones would just ring the bell, and he would regale them with stories, jumping with ease from Babe to Joe D. to Yogi to Mickey to Marvelous Marv. In his den, he would sit back in his ancient Yankee underwear — Edna was always on him to wear Mets underwear — and observe the world through 6 decades of baseball and worldly wisdom. The home sat on a quiet 2-lane street in a fashionable neighborhood near the homes of the USC baseball coach Rod Dedeaux and Babe Herman, his old Brooklyn Dodger teammate from the 1910s. Most people thought of Casey as either a Yankee or a Met, but of course he was a baseball lifer who had played or managed almost everywhere and played with or against nearly everyone. He batted against Grover Cleveland Alexander, chased fly balls hit by Babe Ruth, sent Ron Swoboda up to pinch hit, and moved Cleon Jones to left field. His career had spanned John McGraw and Tug McGraw. Was there a ballpark he hadn't stood in? Never mind all those major league and minor league parks over more than half a century. For over 50 years, starting in 1910, the year of his first spring training, he had to check train schedules, road maps, and eventually flight schedules to get to his next training camp. In 1910 and 1911, he traveled to Excelsior Springs, Missouri. Then he went to Montgomery, Alabama, 1912, Augusta, Georgia, 1913 to 14, Daytona Beach, Florida, 1915 to 16, Hot Springs, Arkansas, 1917, Jacksonville, Florida, 1918, Birmingham, Alabama, 1920, Gainesville, Florida, 1921, San Antonio, Texas, 1922 to 23, Marlin, Texas, 1923, St. Petersburg, Florida, 1924 to 25, Jackson, Tennessee, 1926 to 27, Biloxi, Mississippi, 1928-29, Anniston, Alabama, 1930, Miami, Florida, 1931, Clearwater, Florida, 1932, Miami, 1933, Orlando, Florida, 1934 to 35, Clearwater, 1936, Bradenton, Florida, 1938 to 40, San Antonio, Texas, 1941, Sanford, Florida, 1942, Wallingford, Connecticut, 1943, Bartlesville, Oklahoma, 1945, Boys Hot Springs, California, 1946-47, San Fernando, California, 1948, St. Petersburg, 1949 to 50, Phoenix, Arizona, 1951, and St. Petersburg, 1952 to 60, 1962 to 65, and 1966 to 74 as a consultant. And of course, that excludes the road games and barnstorming games heading north that were part of spring training. One could learn a lot about people and a lot about America just by being Casey Stengel. And his recall. Late in life, some fan might come near the railing and say, Casey, my dad sold you a pair of shoes in Biloxi in 1928. Casey might rub his jaw and say, "I was almost out the door and he sold me a pair of socks, too. He was a good salesman." His home was not quite a mansion, nothing you would find in Bel Air, but it was grand in the upper-middle-class neighborhood in which it stood, or splendid, as he loved to say about almost anything that got his approval. Its 4,600 square feet, a bedroom and den were added in 1937 and 1956 respectively, sat on a lot that went back from the quiet street the length of a football field, with a swimming pool, a pool house, a tennis court, and an orchard. It was a 2-story Spanish architecture stucco dwelling, described in real estate terms as Spanish eclectic with a hipped roof. There were 14 rooms, including 5 bedrooms, 1 living room with a barrel ceiling, 2 sitting rooms, maids' quarters, and 5 bathrooms on 1¼ acres. Eclectic. That was a good word for a Casey Stengel residence. Edna had styled a room or two into Japanese traditional after making tours of the Far East. It was an odd fit with the Spanish architecture, but it worked.